I could, and indeed I hope I am wrong, but it seems to me that we're now at a point of jeopardy. We're at a point where Putin has made his intentions pretty clear, and they are horrible. They are utterly and completely horrible. They stand all the comparisons that are often made at times like this, and then some. He is bombing schools, hospitals, killing children, murdering civilians. He is sending troops in a column 40 miles long, I read this morning. 40 miles long, satellite imagery seems to show, heading towards the capital of Ukraine, with the express purpose of bombing it into submission. And what is the free world going to do about it is a question that assumes, well, almost an emergency tone today. 0345 60 60973 is the number you need to tell me what you think. So, as I understand it, the reason why NATO doesn't go straight in, or America doesn't lead NATO straight into a de facto confrontation with Russia, this is what I think a no-fly zone would involve, is twofold. The first is it would allow Putin to claim that his troops were under attack. I think there's a huge difference between NATO attacking Russian troops in Ukraine and NATO attacking Russian troops in Russia. But Putin, I think, will conflate that difference. He'll pretend there is no difference. He will successfully, in large part, present it to the Russian people as an attack upon Russian people, an attack upon Russian soldiers by Western forces. Now, it's obviously philosophically, politically and morally an entirely different proposition for NATO to do that on Ukrainian soil than it would be for NATO to do that on Russian soil, but it still somehow allows Putin to claim that his own psychodrama, his own narrative is being proven, in that we are under threat. NATO are a threat to us. They're not until you invade Ukraine, but he would still be able to claim so. The problem from the other side is that they have invaded Ukraine and NATO's still not a threat to Russia, and many of us feel, perhaps naively, perhaps incorrectly, that they should be. So what actually happens now? You have an enemy army breaking international law, the Geneva Convention, as if it was going out of fashion, and you have Western powers, military powers, nuclear powers, sitting on the sidelines with their fingers crossed, and what? So I don't know. Help me out. Help me understand the no-fly zone. I'd love to have a clearer view. I'd quite like to have an opinion that feels a little stronger than the confusion I currently feel, because confusion is not comforting. There's false comfort in strong opinions. God knows we talk about that enough on this programme. Why do people end up so rigidly allied to clearly nonsensical positions? Answer, because it's more comforting than recognising that the world is chaotic and unpredictable. How did Larkin put it? Sense the solving emptiness that lies just under all we do, and for a second get it whole, so permanent and blank and true. You don't want to spend your life thinking about that. You want to think that things are easy to understand, and that there's good and there's bad and there's evil and there's right. But right now, it is worthy of all the 1930s parallels that we fight shy of making at other points. We have a murderous criminal army at the behest of a despotic totalitarian dictator marching through Europe, while the free world, as we still like to think of ourselves, despite recent events and despite, madnesses like having a man in the White House until relatively recently who was a cheerleader for this Putin, we are sitting on the sidelines. How long can that continue? And what would prompt engagement?